Oh, hey there, everybody. What's going on, Speed Gaming Land? My name is TheShwantz27, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide, the open world Final Fantasy VI, or some people in the North American region call it Final Fantasy III randomizer. So, what is randomized about Final Fantasy VI? Well, the characters that we get, the commands that they have, the espers that we obtain, the spells that are on them, where the bosses are, what the enemies that we're going to be fighting, the items in chests and shops. Lots of different cool things are randomized about the Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide game. And we are going to be showcasing one of our competitive league warm-up practice sort of matches here. It's called the Ultros League. So we are going to be doing the Ultros League settings here. I am going to make sure that Sabre Wolf's screen is actually up. There it is. Okay, perfect. He is up. He's just got to switch over in just a second. Anyway, so the purpose of Worlds Collide is to unlock and defeat Final Kefka. So in order to do that, we need to recruit 6 characters and find 9 espers. So those are those gold numbers there on your screen. And we start off with 3 characters. So we'll see exactly who our 3 starting characters are when the speed gets loaded up. There is also a skip where you can skip to the statue spots inside of Kefka's Tower if you get 9 characters or 12 espers, or you complete 21 what's called checks. And we'll circle back to that a little bit later here. Or I guess we could do it now. Why not? So Worlds Collide, a in-game world event is called a check. And from a check, you can be rewarded either a character or an esper or a high-tier item. Sometimes a subset of those, depending upon what the check actually is. And those checks are relegated to the characters that you have unlocked. So it's a character-gated sort of concept here, where depending upon the characters you've recruited, those are the different world events from the game that you could actually access. So in this case, we'll have to see what our 3 starting characters are and what events they have to access. What is changing from Ultros League 4, as you may have seen on this channel previously, to Ultros League 5? Well, first thing you already saw is that there's a potential KT skip at 21 checks. You also punish people for quote-unquote dead checks, which is, getting an item instead of character and esper. We have changed around the high-tier item rewards. Valiant Knife, Illumina, Ragnarok, Atma Weapon, Fixed Dice, Elemental Shields, Minerva, Genji Glove, Offering, Experience Egg, Snow Muffler, Cat Hood, Dragonhorn, Behemoth Suit, Aura Lance, Force Shield, and Force Armor are the set of high-tier items. There were some more ones in there, like the Marvel Shoes. Thank God that is gone. But now dead checks are a little bit less punished than before. In order to offset that, there's no Experience Eggs or Illuminas in shops. There's no Super Balls in shops either, just because they were deemed a little bit too RNG dependent. The people that went around and found them in the shops would normally be the ones that would be getting the faster times. So that's why we decided to let that go. Also, we are bringing back Ultima at a cost of 254 MP, and the Curse Shield battle, therefore, has been changed to start at 6 and end at 14 instead of 3. And we also have Esper tiered learn rates. So the higher the spell power, the slower it is that you learn that spell. So Ultima is only learnable at a ×1 rate. Same thing with Quick and Merton. And some of our other high-tier spells will be learned at a ×2 to ×4 rate. So you're going to have to put some more battles underneath you in order to unlock those spells. Those are the changes from the generic Ultros League flag. So in addition, we do have a couple of more objectives to unlock the full Magitech tree if you complete the Magitech factory. And Objective C, as you see on Sabre Wolf's screen, you can learn all 8 sword techs by completing Cyan's Dream. So we have to have Cyan, and we've got to have someone with sword tech. So Merton strats and shambles, yes, but also no. It's going to take you longer to learn Merton. However, with elemental shields being basically the only shields that you can get in dead checks now, you're not going to be getting Genji Shield or Aegis Shield. You'll actually probably see a lot more Merton setups that are quite possible, because you're, again, restricting the amount of items that you can get out of those high-tier checks. So same thing with Minerva. You're allowed to get Minervas out of those dead checks. So actually, I've found, when I've played anyway, that I've been getting Merton equipment and capabilities actually a lot more often than I was previously. It's just going to take a little bit longer to learn the spells, obviously. And that's not going to be a problem when you have to take on dragons. You can always take on a dragon. They will drop you a one of those high-tier items in addition to 50 magic points. So if Merton is at a ×1 rate, you just take 2 dragons and boom, your character then just learns Merton. Speaking of a slow rate, I'm joined by my co-commentator, DrinksGlue. What's going on? How are we doing?
Hey, Schwantz. I'm on time as per usual. So how you doing tonight?
Of course. Well, we're glad to have you, as our race is just kicking off here, and we are starting off with Celeste, Setzer, and Sabin. Rage is on Sabin. Okay, maybe not. Rage is on Setzer. I can't keep track. Capture and a vanilla runic there for Celeste. So interesting rages we got going down the list there. So that's one of the cool new things about Worlds Collide with one of our recent updates, is you can actually go through the rage list in the menu and it'll tell you exactly what spell gets cast. So I really like that a lot. And we'll see what our runners do here, as we have access to a lot of different checks with these 3 characters, Glue.
Yeah, and Sabre Wolf has given a preview of the offense available so far. None of the S tier rages, maybe a couple B tier. Unless I missed one. Looks like Pearl, Bolt 2, and Bio are going to be the only viable options out of the starting rages.
Yeah, there is.
There is a shrapnel.
Yeah. So there is that one shrapnel rage that is non-elemental damage. That'll be nice to use. But yeah, the Genji Glove from OneFreeFitz out of the returner's hideout there. That's always a nice thing to find. But cool. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, is I'm looking through my rage list and seeing, do I have, number one, do I have like, a good physical one like Stray Cat or maybe one of the bear rages, right? And if I don't, then I know that I'm going to need to use earrings on that particular character. So our runners scattering off in different directions here. I don't think they're all in different towns. This is is crazy.
So
one of the things I love about Worlds Collide.
So Lunar Chimera did find a cat hood, which is a great find early game, especially when you haven't taken a battle yet. That means they're going to earn double the amount of GP throughout the entire sea if somebody can wear that thing.
Yeah, cat hood is definitely my favorite hood of all time. It's really good. And if I find it in a shop, I'm going to sell the farm for it, just because it's, one of those things that it's going to pay you back whenever you get the money back for it, right? Because it'll pick up all of the GP that you can pick up in addition to the elemental properties that it's got. So while we're in South Figaro here, Lunar Chimera is just about to give us our first check that I was talking about before. Celeste gives us the South Figaro prisoner spot. Actually, he already did it, and I missed it. It was an Esper.
It was an Esper. I missed the Esper, but it wasn't a juicy Esper, because if it was a juicy Esper, I would come out of my chair.
Well, there you go. The hip hop, and you don't stop. So yeah, got a ribbon in a pot there. So a lot of looting and shopping here in the first 10 minutes. Here, Gar coming in with the pun. Bear rages are polarizing. Wow. See yourself out. Actually, don't. We need the viewers. So stay around, and thank you for raiding with a party of 3 as well. All right, I'm going to see if we can get Jexvrok back. In the meantime, we got some more looting going on of the other South Figaro from Sabre Wolf, picking up one of those aforementioned Aegis shields out of a chest. We will not see them in the high-tier item rewards. What do you think about that, Flag Glue? Or the new setting, anyway?
I'm a big fan of it. Being able to limit the pool so you get rid of the junk makes dead checks less punishing. By average, on a Ultros League 4 flag set, you're going to come across 3 to 4 dead checks just by the numbers, a little less if you're lucky, a little more if you're unfortunate. And when you come across one and you get an economizer or a gem box or a force armor that you just doesn't benefit you, they're so backbreaking and debilitating from a time standpoint. So eliminating the items that are only going to help you is fantastic.
Yeah, I am so happy that I will never again see Marvel shoes as a reward. I don't need those kicks, thank you very much. I'd rather have more or less anything else. Although there is something to be said about those high tier items that you can't just turn around and sell. It is Shoat actually as the Esper there, so it can be kind of useful for tier 1, petrifying everything on the screen. Garbage spells on it though. There was warp, and that's about it.
Yeah, and Celeste can wear that cat hood. That's fantastic. The big concern with the cat hood is that there's only one person in the vanilla game that can wear it. That is Realm, so everybody else has the randomized chance based on the flag set, and Ultros League is typically 33%, but sometimes it feels like it's 1%.
Yep, and here comes another free check, as we like to call them. So no battles there. Just going to pick up one of Setzer's checks at the Culligan Inn, and that is another good Esper there, Siren, for Lunar Chimera. Siren will allow us to mute everything on screen, and that'll come in handy for Final Kefka as well in Tier 2. One of the enemies that's in Tier 2, named Magic, is hilariously susceptible to mute, and that is a Ragnarok
that is
at the Culligan clock. That is huge.
Yeah.
So,
there's a good chance
Celeste,
nobody else
that is what
that.
you're going to do.
Yep.
Meanwhile, oneFreeFitz taking off the Moogle Charms, so we do give our runners Moogle Charms to avoid any of those random encounters, or you can take them off like Fitz and find an undead enemy. So throw a Revivify or a Phoenix down at it, and boom, you're already level 6. That's a lot of fun there. All right, Glue, so we've got Sabin, we've got Celeste, we've got Setzer. We do our opening loot. Where are we going first for our checks? Are you thinking maybe Imperial Camp, maybe a little Opera House disruption action, something else, Collapsing House maybe?
I think we'll see a little bit of divergence once everybody's made their way out of Culligan and South Figaro. There's a couple great starting options with the characters available, one being Imperial Camp, which is going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4 random encounters, or you can go to Opera House, which is going to give you up to 5 random encounters and a boss fight. Typically, you want to do your random encounters early just to get ahead of scaling, and then kind of create a tidal wave effect, so you're always one step ahead of the bosses, and that way you'll transition smoothly into the mid game. Also, if you wanted to go do some faster checks and avoid the little bit longer ones, we have the Waterfall. I don't think we'll go to the Waterfall yet. I think we're going to see a split of Imperial Camp and Opera House.
All right, so oneFreeFitz into Zen, giving us a first look at the Zen Thief, 50-something GP for not an Esper. He didn't say for the shiny stone or whatever. He just said 50,000-ish, and this is yours. So we know that there is no Esper that Thief is selling us, and there's only one Esper in the auction house. That was a new edition with Season 4 that is a welcome edition for Season 5 as well. And Lunar Chimera here decides, hey, I found a Ragnarok, I have a rage user, I've got enough to go do things, let me start killing stuff. And that's what he's going to do.
Yeah, great heads up, the user Revivify the Misfits. That sprite is always undead across all its color variations.
Yep, gotta love the reskins. Let's go. So this is a potentially dangerous fight with this behemoth, but if we throw enough of spells at it, oof.
Oh
yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's why it's a little dangerous. It is very good XP, but I think he's having a bit of trouble trying to survive it. Oh boy.
Oh no, he'll go down his next... Yep. Smart play there.
Yeah, put your characters in the back row, and then you could at least tank a hit or two. All right, meanwhile, Fitz is heading to the Collapsing House. Jexvrok over in Thamasa picking an ice shield out of a barrel. So I don't know how many of our runners will be heading over there for loot, but that's a nice pickup for him. We already found a flame shield in the South Figaro basement. So, we were talking about Merton strats before, and it seems like our runners have already found 2 pieces of Merton protection.
It looks like Lunar Chimera is going to take some grind fights before he goes back in and retakes on the Behemoth head on, and that's a smart play. As you mentioned, I would put my characters in the back row, well, all except for Celeste with her Ragnarok. But once he can get above 100 HP with all of his characters, he'll be fine.
Yeah, the problem with this fight is this mob is very highly resistant to physical attacks, and other than rage, that's all he's got. Meanwhile, Fitz buys the doohickey from the Zen Thief for 10,000, and it's an offering there, so that's really nice to find. If not for nothing else, you could probably go flip that for more than 10 grand later. And we got Shadow holding up the collapsing house here, so we're going to get our 4th character very quickly early on in this seed.
Yeah, I think Fitz isn't looking for another offering. I think he's looking for the Gigantos, which is great early. You can kind of control his attacks with his counterattacks if you don't overqueue and pay a little and display a little bit of patience.
Yeah, also have access to that Necromancer Rage, which is Doom, so can get rid of it right away if you really, really want to.
Yeah, it looks like Lunar Chimera is going to call an audible and just go on down to the waterfall and save the Imperial camp for later.
Yeah, so unfortunately, reset out of Imperial camp and reset out of that grind fight, so he will be level 3 here, and his enemies are going to be 2 times his progression, so they'll be at level 10 right now, and this is not a fun fight for level 10.
No, it's not. That's going to be an immediate reset.
I mean, it's not a fun fight ever, but especially here.
And it looks like Sabre was going to go get some discount consumables with his Saban going into Figaro Castle.
Character number 4, Steel Shadow. So we already have Capture. Don't really need Steel. Jexvrok peeking in at the auction house, and I didn't actually get to see if there were Espers there or not.
Yeah, I missed it as well.
There's nothing at the Zen Thief. There probably is something at auction house. Who knows? Maybe if chat's got more sets of eyes than I do. Not a very favorable encounter here for Jexvrok.
The random encounters have not been kind so far, unless you're oneFreeFitz. Yeah, I'm thinking Sabre was going to make a Coliseum visit because he just bought some rename cards, which are great.
Oh yeah.
Because they cost single digit GP, and if you buy 10 of them and you swing on over to the auction house and they turn into something juicy, that is a great play. Or
he could just be memeing for the stream. I totally accept stream memery. That's my favorite kind, in fact.
And today is his birthday, by the way. So if you haven't, wish Sabre Wolf a happy birthday.
There you go. I think he deserves a birthday follow. What do you think?
Yeah, birthday follow, birthday subscription, birthday cake. I think he deserves it all, in my opinion.
All right. Well, it's still very early doors, as they say, in this particular race. Fitz is the only one with a 4th character so far. He's going to grab his Siren Esper here, because in Setzer's check, Call Engine in, you could do from either the World of Balance or the World of Ruin. And actually, there's a guy here. He's like running real fast in that middle section. You could actually change out your party and unequip your party similar to the guy on the airship. So I like to swing by here sometimes if I want to change my party down to 3 for like Gao or for Zone Eater or whatever. And they don't feel like, pressing the buttons to go on the airship again. Meanwhile, Lunar Chimera finally getting an encounter that he can get rid of. Too bad it is the Lonely Lobo, so he's at least off of level 3, but level 4 is not much better.
No, it's not. And we got a sneak peek of what was on Siren. There was nothing of note. A couple support spells that will never get cast, so not the best Esper selection so far.
No.
Oh no, Lunar Chimera.
Yeah, this will be a really So Nightshade Rage is normally really, really awesome to find because Nightshade will use the Charm ability, which basically means that the enemies will take physical hits for you. However, with Ultros League, we have disabled the Charm Rage, so instead it uses a Poison Rage, which is not as helpful. Fitz, meanwhile, swinging by Gao Manor and getting another Esper. That's Phoenix, and that one's a little better. Speed
Ooh,
+1.
Sabre Wolf found the Ragnarok as well, and right on Celeste it goes.
There you go. Yeah, I usually try and check that chest. Also, Ragnarok for Setzer.
Ooh. Yeah, he's gonna have a Setzer use. I don't hate that.
I think there's 2 of them.
I think he was saying who could equip it.
Oh, okay. And Jexy grabbing the Ragnarok.
Unbelievable.
See, I love how normally when I try and talk to people that are newer at this, it's like, don't menu unless you're saving. And all 3 of our runners find the Ragnarok and are immediately like, ooh, new toy, shiny. Can't blame them. That is a big shiny sword.
Yeah, it's easy after the fact to be like, that was a bad idea. Like the next morning when you shouldn't have had that 3rd or 4th drink, but
that adrenaline gets going, let me tell you. As soon as you see, a sword with 255 battle power, you're pumped up.
And it looks like Jexy's going to make a Coliseum dip here.
Our runners in the upper left and lower right corners, respectively, are heading into the Imperial camp, and I spot some rods from Fitz here. I don't know if he bought them or found them, but those are always nice to have on hand to kind of just get rid of enemies like this. And oh no, Lunar Chimera, run!
Run!
Oh, please run! Please
run!
No.
Okay, the good news is the Runic will save
Oh
him.
my god, the Runic!
Oh,
run!
Okay.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Miss! Dodge!
Oh yes! Get out of there! Unbelievable!
Oh my god, that is so clutch! Whoo!
Amazing.
Meanwhile, I have no idea what Jex is trying to get, but there is a doom in favor of our runners. Still, you're throwing darts at a dead corpse there. Picking up an Excalibur, which is a pretty mid stat stick. Oh, there's an offering for a potion there in the Coliseum.
Amazing.
So I know it's a Zen Thief is selling it, but Jexvrok here is going to earn it.
Yeah, I think he's going to take all the offerings he can get for all of his potions. I would, just for the sticking point of I can turn around and sell them.
Hero rings for sleeping bags. There's mega elixirs too down there somewhere.
Oh no. You should be fine for this.
You could fall into a real bad trap here if there's so many different good things in the Oh god. F's in the chat for Jexy on that one. Meanwhile, Sabre Wolf, good recovery there to get Celeste up so that she could earn the juicy XP from that fight. So that is a Merchant Sprite, and that means we're not getting a character here. This is only an Esper or an item. Alright, what else are you going to find here?
I'm curious what Jexvrok is gonna grab here. Cause
oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, okay, we got smoke bombs.
This is not the funnest Imperial camp.
So one of the things, just to pull behind the curtain a little bit, one of the things that we're discussing actually in the dev chat. By the way, Worlds Collide is still being worked on. It's kind of in open access. Is one of our esteemed colleagues that is much better at programming than I am, has figured out a way to make these random encounters normalized across all of the seeds, which is awesome. Because you notice that Sabre Wolf got a horrific fight that neither of our other 2 runners so far have gotten here in the Imperial camp. So if that happens, I think that'll be really good to reduce sort of the RNG of the game, right? Because you want to make sure that runners have a fair, skill wins out. Obviously, luck plays a little bit of it. It's a randomizer after all, but
yeah, but it should be more of a. I agree, because it should be more of a make your own luck, and just because you went to floating continent and had to fight the Madden.
Nice. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just because you went to Floating Cotton and had to fight the Madam Fight and got a enhancer in your face and someone didn't, that shouldn't really determine who won.
Yeah. Lunar Chimera stealing rods from those wizards. Nice
Very
heads
nice.
up vanilla game knowledge there.
That must be how Fitz got his.
That is... No, he had fire rods, and those guys are thunder rods. But, yeah, really, really nice heads up play there from Lunar Chimera. And Fitz grabs the monster in a box here, and it is a pretty favorable one. This is one you want to see, because you get both, you know, magic points and XP. Picking up an Esper out of the Imperial camp. I didn't see which one it was, but...
We'll see in just a moment.
I'm cheating and looking at their trackers.
Yeah, Lunar Chimera has 1 fight to go, then we'll see the Esper attacks pop up again.
Meanwhile, we're getting something different from Jexvrok. A little bit of divergence here. He's parked outside of the Opera House.
Seraphim? And let's see what it has.
Oh, Life 3?
Life 3.
Yes.
Nice.
So yeah, there you see the example of the tiered learn rate, right? Life 3 is a good spell. It is at ×1.
There was also a Berserk on it, so that Berserk is going to nullify Magic Master if we happen to come across
why did you even bring it up? Because you're a man of the people, right? We want action. Viewers, we want chaos.
Is Fitz? I think Fitz is still the only one that's gone to Collapsing House and is sitting on his shadow.
That is correct. Yeah, Collapsing House is one of those weird checks. For me, I think that since it's a peekable check, I usually like to save it until I have like one or the other sort of deal, right? Mm-hmm. But it's also a super duper fast check. So if you leave it and never get back to it, then that might be a problem. Flame Shield is the reward at the caboose, and Sabre Wolf is thinking about going through with it. Meanwhile, oh my goddess.
Oh goodness.
And we have one person with capture and one person with steal, so we're going to try and get a Minerva here, I think.
Yeah, the bad news, though, is fighting gods at Switch Disguise is you're not in the pincer formation. So this is really dangerous because all of our nasty AoE attacks are going to hit 4 party members as opposed to 2. And at this level, one of them can easily wipe all party members at full HP.
You've never lived until you've gotten a full party sleep, am I right?
Or, you know, God. Vault 3 just isn't as fun.
Yeah, there you go. Just as you said, AoE attack, basically destroying Fitz's entire world there. Is using some of those fire rods. Let's see if he gets through here. Wow.
Oh no. Hopefully that's a counter. Not a counter.
No, that's just that's
a stat.
That's a let's come back to that later. Couple of nasty mobs here between our two runners. The Prometheus, I think that's a Kefka's Tower enemy.
It is the. It only appears in 2 rooms in Kefka's Tower, and of course I can't remember what they are, but I can remember what I have for breakfast, and I'll take that at least.
Here you go. These neck hunters also hit pretty hard, although it looks like our runners have gotten some levels underneath them, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, and Jexy's done with the mob part of the Opera House, and he's about to find out who the boss is. Yeah,
this is one of the dangerous things about Opera House is we just went through and fought all those things, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to kill this boss or not. And it's not a very easy boss here. It looks like he's going to crack a shield, maybe?
Is he?
I don't know. We'll see what happens here.
I think I would give it 1 or 2 turns and see what my damage is going to do to it, because it's always hard with the tankier HP bosses like Fumbaba to know how much damage per turn you're going to do. So if you're only doing 300 damage a turn, you have no chance, so you just got to crack your shields like this.
Meanwhile, Sabre Wolf continuing through the Phantom Train Phantom Train check. I don't know if I'd do it for a Flame Shield unless I either one had Merton in my inventory or two was trying to look for just levels, because then that won't increase the scaling, right? And this is not going to be a fun fight as Fitz picks up some fixed dice there in the chest in the Magitech factory. So that's something that Setzer can do now in his party. And he bought that offering. Am I correct?
He did. He bought the
did.
Zen Thief, which was the offer. Another cat hood, but the cat hoods don't double. You can't quadruple your GP, but you can still equip it and get all the elemental and stat bonuses that come with it.
All right, we got double missing leg day, and oh no, Stoned is my least favorite spell ever. It could just turn your party against one another, and it could be really bad. Thankfully, Lunar Chimera, I think, has a couple of ribbons on his characters. And since he fought that dinosaur, he has access to Meteo. And there it goes. Simultaneous Fun Baba.
Very nice.
And now we get to see what this reward is.
And Sabre Wolf is making pretty good work of the Three Stooges, considering his early levels. This could have been a very dangerous fight, but he's going to get some good RNG with his Meteo cast.
Alright, Soldier Sprite lets me know that we are not getting a character here. Alright, so that's an Esper each for our corner runners there. And in our other corner is Umaro the boss, not Umaro the character. So get your Dab and Yetis out if you got them.
And yeah, it looks like he threw his offering fixed dice on Setzer. I don't hate it this early, but as you can see, it's a huge animation time. Actually, I do hate it for this fight, because if he was sitting on fire 2s the entire time, he could have took this down a lot faster, saved a couple seconds, but that's really just nitpicking.
Yeah, so using the remaining set of those fire rods there for Umaro, obviously that's the weakness for Yeti. So, nice heads-up play there. Yeah, fixed dice offering is one of those things. Extremely powerful, however, it's extremely time-consuming. And you can easily overkill, what I like to call it, where you've already beaten the boss, and you still have 2 more turns.
Yeah, there's to that point you don't want to there's 1,000. It's hard to always know exactly how much HP a boss has, but if you're cognizant of your scaling and your level, if you know a boss has sub 8k HP left, it's kind of foolish to throw out a fixed dice attack that's going to spin out 4 times and do 7,000 extra damage that needed to be done. So it's a refined skill to be aware of your boss's HP at all times.
Fitz picking up yet another fire rod from that hidden away chest. And hey, is this even randomized? Number 24 at the number 24 spot.
Unbelievable.
So the question here, Glue, is are we taking this all the way to the end with the minecart? And I'd have to think at this point we're going to have to do it, right?
100% I'd warp out. The reason for that is I actually probably would have came here until later. Because the time between this fight and then when you're done with this is so massive compared to the time you start and you get to this number 24 spot. And you're not locked here, I would head on up the floating continent.
We did learn the warp spell.
We did. I think I'll stick it through.
I would have went floating continent before here. You're absolutely right, but that's why I'm in the booth. And that is a Atma weapon.
Very nice.
So we'll see who could use that. Celeste obviously can. And Fitz is going through. Meanwhile, Sabre Wolf taking down Hyde and the Hyde Knights. This is the first time we're seeing that reward, and it is Tarato at the bottom of Barren Falls. Very nicely done. A lot of trash Espers today, other than the one with Fire 3 and Speed +1. Jexvrok getting his Seraphim. That's the one I was talking about. It's also got Flare.
Flare's nice
If
in the
we-
pinch, but
if
you're not
we-
excited to see it.
No, that's a get out of trouble spell. It's the fixed dice of spells, if you will. Because yeah, I think Fitz did like quad 9s on his first dice roll, and he had to go through 3 more times to watch the animation there. So it'll be interesting to see if Fitz leans into these shadow checks, because he was our first runner with shadow. Lunar Chimera about to get shadow on the exit from the collapsing house, and Sabre Wolf going into the collapsing house after receiving his offering there.
Has Jexvrok done Collapsing House?
He has
No,
not.
he has not. He only has 3 characters.
That is correct. Yeah, so the thing with Pugs is that Capture will actually do the fight command first, and then if the fight command hits, then it will do steal. And since Pugs have 100% evade, you can't hit them with fight, right? So therefore, the steal will never ever happen. We do have Shadow with steal,
Yep.
but we don't get him until after the collapsing house. So that's kind of a chicken and egg moment there, because the Pugs are in that monster in a box that Sabre Wolf just skipped. Yeah, so that is true. If you do have an offering, which we did buy, you can actually steal from Pugs. If you have a weapon that has 100% hit rate, like an Illumino or fixed dice.
Yeah, great heads up knowledge there by Jexvrok. Hiding is weak to Pearl and Fire. Pearl you don't use too often, but this is one of the few situations where you like to have it.
Yeah, you might as well crack that rod. You can't take it with you when the game's over.
Speaking of Pearl, oneFreeFitz is going to eat a Pearl.
Oof. Hate to see that happen.
You do. So if somebody heads on up to Floating Continent here, we got 2 characters with Shadow now. We don't know what's going on up there. There's a very good chance if that is where we are required to go, because Burning House, Opera House, Barren Falls, Imperial Camp, and Phantom Train were not the answer to the equation.
Yeah, so that means we are left still with a lot of options for a third character, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we do see the lower pixelation for the poison there on Jexvrok's screen. That's one of the new changes with the 1.4. I mean, it's not gone altogether, but it makes me a lot less likely to hide the fetal position in a room with all the lights off.
So as you can see, Jexy has 130k GP,
Oh my god.
and in the world of balance, that item was 50,000. So he didn't pull the trigger, but he almost spent 50k that he didn't need to on another offering that he definitely doesn't need. So he dodged a bullet there.
All right, well, it is a second Magicite at the end of the Magitech factory. So, unfortunately, we do not have Blitz for this Ghost Train. But we can take its life down to half for for Setzer to overkill it again.
Yep.
So yeah, so that means, Glue, that our character has got to be at Daryl's tomb, right? We haven't seen that yet. We have not seen Floating Continent or Velt Cave, and we haven't seen Mount Cults. I think those are the checks we have not seen.
And Kafka at Narish, but
yeah. We're going to get one of them here with Sabre Wolf in the upper left-hand corner. And Fitz just leaning on the gas now with that fixed dice offering.
yes, indeed. So we just saw Sabre Wolf show a penchant to stick it out, even though it was only a flame show that Phantom Train. I think there's a good chance, no matter what this is, he's just going to go for it.
Yeah, so dead checks feel bad usually because, you don't get towards your Kefka unlock. But you do, however, still get all the XP, and, we'll learn spells and things like that along the way. So. Phantom Train, I mean, Phantom Train's just easy to reset. This you could just warp out of too, right? So
yeah, I'm not opposed to what he did. I just would have, a Flame Shear would have been on the lower end of the things of the odds. I'd go ahead and pull the trigger on doing it for.
yeah, unless I'm already knowing that I'm going to be casting Merton, then that's not something that I'm going to do. Dr. GT pointing out in the chat, it does move you towards the 21 check skip.
Ooh, offering.
Well, I mean, he doesn't know it yet, but if he goes to the Magitech factory, he's going to get an Atma weapon, so he can definitely use a second offering.
If he does, yeah, because he'll get his fixed dice and his Atma weapon if he goes there. And so will Jexvrok. Jexvrok is still sitting on a pool of offerings.
Meanwhile, the bottom runners are doing our floating continent trip, each looking out different ends of the airship. Fitz is paranoid, so he's at the back, checking himself from that angle, and Lunar Chimera is saying forward, onward, at the front. You do have to go to the back in order to high-five the boss to initiate the fight, though.
So isn't the front port and the rear starboard?
Nope, that's left and right.
Of course. As I was saying.
Spoken like a true New Englander there, somebody who knows their parts of the ship. Actually, it's not even true. New York isn't a part of New England, is it? Definitely not. Gar coming in with the bow and stern. That's the front and the back, respectively.
I can respect a good pirate.
I mean, back and front is kind of straightforward, but left and right is hard because it depends on which way you're facing, right? That's why you get port and starboard side of the ship. Anyway, another offering for Sabre Wolf there. He doesn't know it yet, but there is an Atma weapon and fixed dice. Well, an Atma weapon for a reward, fixed dice in a chest.
And the good news, I think he has some... Oh, I didn't see any potions when he just did his sleeping bags, but the good news is if he has some potions, he'll get some even more offerings to have.
I forgot about that. Got offerings everywhere.
Oh, there it is. One up top.
Ooh,
There's a
Genji
Genji glove.
glove.
Atlas harness.
Yeah, not much there.
Did he just take a Serena ring? Serena ring?
He's gonna get an Aegis shield.
I think he... Oh, okay.
And this is what happens when you go to the Coliseum after you've learned a bunch of spells. Alright, so Fitz taking out tunnel armor for the first boss. Let's see what our second boss is. It's a bathroom break. Lunar Chimera are going to find it as well here. Yeah, Fitz has got slightly higher levels than Lunar Chimera, because you do get a story heal right before this, so this is a good measure of where our runners are against one another. And they've got pretty similar... oh no, they both are at 4 and 6. I'm sorry. I must have missed one of Lunar Chimera's espers somewhere. So they are pretty neck and neck, but Fitz has slightly higher levels. Meanwhile, Jexvrok is at 4 and 6 as well. I can't count, apparently.
Did Jexvrok go to the fixed dice chest that was the loop around before you go down the conveyor belt?
I didn't see.
I didn't see either, so we don't know if he has one of
I mean,
the
he's
items
going to
that
this
pair well
chest,
with
so
the
I
7
assume
offerings.
so.
Yeah, I would assume so as well. Ooh, nothing there. You don't see a lot of people go there.
No. I mean, if he got something really good, then cool for him, but that was not something good.
And Karen's going to teach Magic Power +1, but really nothing of note spell-wise.
Unfortunately, I don't think he did, because he would have equipped the fixed dice by now on Setzer. Okay.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, there it is.
So 1 offering, pairing down, 3 more to go.
Lunar Chimera also gets Esper number 7 there. Sorry about that. Jex, meanwhile, assuming he goes all the way through, will be at 4 and 8. And that still leaves us with that question, that burning question, Glue. And maybe Sabre Wolf will answer it with the Velt Cave. Where is our 5th character? It could be at Floating Continent number 3. It could be at Velt Cave. It could be at Mount Kultz. It could be at Kefket Narsh. And that's pretty much it. So, chat, you could also help us out with your predictions here. I'm going to go with... let's do Mog at Floating Continent number 3. What do you think, Glue?
I'm going to go with Edward at Floating Continent number 3.
Who the hell's Edward?
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Wrong randomizer.
You mean Gerard?
Yes, I'm going to say Edgar.
Our good friend, Edward. Strago, the worst possible. Yeah, Mog at Kefket Narsh is the worst. Because then you got to walk all the way back up.
Well, you don't have to, because the float... is no free progression on?
It is not.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's not, because we found 2 Espers earlier, of course. So this is not... It is not at Cave on the Belt for Sabre Wolf. He just don't cover that for us. So that still leaves Floating Continent number 3 or Kefket Narsh.
And Mount Kultz.
Oh yeah, and Mount Kultz. I'm so sure it's not at Mount Kultz though that I'll not even mention it.
Well, listen, I didn't roll this seed, so you guys can't blame me. I think
Who rolled it?
Rolled this. I think Jex rolled it. So.
Oh, of course. So yeah, it's Kefket Narsh.
All right. Meanwhile, dueling flame eaters here for our boys on the bottom. OneFreeFitz, Lunar Chimera. Sabre Wolf, you said it was an Esper there? Bahamut?
Yeah.
Does he pet the dog?
No,
I don't know if he pet
Take
the dog.
him off screen right now, please.
Okay. Make sure you give him... I know it's his birthday and all, but make sure you give him an unfollow for that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you followed him earlier, please unfollow him, and we will tell you to refollow him if he does something worthy of it.
Sabre Wolf grabbing that ice shield that Jexvrok found earlier, and that would have been really useful against that Flame Eater fight there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we got some calmness protection up on the Floating Continent with Golem at our number 2 spot.
Very nice.
And now it'll come down to this, boys and girls. Will we find our character at Floating Continent 3, or are they in one of those other 2 spots? Find out next.
Find out in about 90 seconds. Maybe longer if... Well, no, we already found Goddess.
We did find Goddess.
We do have Berserk, so Magic Master will clear. Doomgaze is Scare. I think they're equipped well enough to handle a Poltergeist, so... yeah, we'll find out in 90 seconds.
Did we find a... I don't know if we found a stop spell. We definitely found Berserk, though.
Yeah, but with a full party and when you're cooking like this, Poltergeist is much more manageable than when you fight them one-on-one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I guess Sabre Wolf is going to Mount Kultz? No, he's going to Gal Manor.
Yeah, so he's going to pick up his 6th Esper here. Jexvrok, meanwhile, finding the Atma weapon and is continuing onward. I mean, this makes sense. You're still looking for a character, right?
Oh, do you see what's on your screen right now?
Some goblins?
Oh, look a little further. It just got hit in the face. So that was the stray cat encounter for there and OneFreeFitz.
I did not see that.
And I don't
no.
Who was the rage user?
That's Setzer.
That's Setzer, and Setzer can equip. You know, what's 4 times fixed dice? I think that's a good, very high number.
I don't think stray cat stacks with fixed dice. Although I have no idea.
Well, hopefully we'll find out.
I don't know. Somebody in chat will have to let us know. I've never tried it. By the way, more heads-up play from Lunar Chimera here, stealing an ice shield off of the main part of Inferno. You could also steal some flame shields off of the other parts of Inferno. Gar saying Cat Scratch does stack with fixed dice. That is disgusting.
Yeah, we'll put
We're
him
gonna
in
have a cat scratching offering fixed dice.
Yeah, the great part is when cat scratch triggers, it doesn't do the animation, the fixed dice animation. It just does the throw your hands up in the air animation, and all the quad nines come out really fast. It's beautiful.
The thwap. Okay, our character is not at the end of the floating continent. Schwantz, you liar. That is, however, the 9th Esper.
Oh no, Sabre, go back. You missed the fixed dice. So I take back everything bad I said earlier about the fixed dice. If you have Stray Cat or Golden Bear or one of the mini rats that do 1.5 times damage, those pair very, very well with the random numbers be damned.
Alright, 9th Esper there for Fitz as well. Lunar Chimera in the Veld Cave is going to find the Esper on the ground. So at this point, Glue, we do have a skip at 12 Espers. If you see an Esper, are you still going or are you warping out here?
1000%. I'm going for it.
You're going for it.
The skip is, with the new skip changes, or the new ability, or the new avenues to get the skip, it's so worth it to just put your head down and ram through everything. When you're at this point in the seed, if you've had no problem with the mid game and your offense is cooking, you're just going to steamroll through everything. So it almost becomes just go to the next fastest possible check and just keep going until you unlock Kefka or you unlock the skip, whichever one comes first.
Alright, so Lunar Chimera has 11 checks and oneFreeFitz is 12, just to level set. We get the skip at 21 checks. So they still got a little ways to go. But we're still looking for 2 characters, and it's got to be either Mount Cults or Kefka at Narsh. So those of you evil doers in chat that want a Kefka at Narsh seed, you may get your wish. I did not get mine, of rewarding people that went to the floating continent. Jexvrok makes a train disappear. Suck on that, Copperfield. And he's gonna get a... He's going to get an Esper for that. That's number 8 for him. Sabre Wolf's going to get number 7 Esper there at the first spot of the Magitech Factory. And Lunar Chimera and oneFreeFitz are going to get their 10th.
Nice. Looks like Jexy's fading floating continent. I don't think he would go to Kefka at Narsh before floating continent, but if he goes to Culture Kefka at Narsh and it's not there and he can fade floating continent altogether, that'd be a huge advantage for him.
Didn't floating continent give us 3 Espers though?
It did.
I mean, that's nice value there. Meanwhile, Torado at the bottom for Fitz as he's standing there stunned. Lunar Chimera does pet the dog, so he does in fact win the race. Alright, Sabre Wolf going to be disappointed.
Well, no, Sabre Wolf went through his run of offerings earlier, so I'm always excited to see an Atma weapon with,
that's true.
With an offering.
That's true. I forgot. He was one of the runners that did go to the Coliseum.
Oh, and Daryl's Tomb gave him one.
Oh, that's right. Right. Alright, where are we going next, boys and girls? Fitz is going to reset out of the Phantom Train.
Now, we said that earlier about Sabre Wolf, but we were obviously wrong.
Oh, he's definitely... I will give you $1 if he sticks out this check here.
Alright, I'll take it. I mean, inflation is real.
Don't do it, Fitz. There we go. There it is.
That's probably for the best, because I can't remember my Binbell password to save my life. Just a heads up, ladies and gentlemen, if you can't remember your Binbell password, you are out of luck. I have money sitting in my Binbell I can't get because I can't remember my password. I should have just Google Authenticated.
Yeah, but the problem is when you switch phones, like, it's just so annoying to do the authentication over again.
Well, as long as you don't ever lose access to your Gmail, and that you can actually set up recovery methods for, you're fine.
If you are a smart person, yes, you would do that.
Yeah, but
All right, Jex also saying no to the fire shield. Let's see if Lunar Chimera says no to the second offering. Again, I will Venmo you $1 that you can't get. See, the other bad thing about not finding characters is you can't even do Search the Skies, and, well, I hope you like money that you can't spend.
Technically, that's all my money. I don't hate sticking around for this offering for Lunar Chimera because he's not aware that the seed is very offering of the offerings right now. Because he hasn't been to a Zen Thief and he hasn't been to the Coliseum, so I would probably take this play, especially knowing what I'm sitting on from Magitech and the Fixed Eyes.
He doesn't yet know what the seed is offering him. Anyway, we are going to check out Kefka and Narsh on Jexvrok's screen. By the way, Terra is in Umaro's cave.
Yeah, this is huge for Jexvrok. This is a 5th character. He's the first one to number 5, and
wow. This is great because then you could take your party immediately down to 3 after this fight and be ready to go.
Dried meat was at one of the collagens, and we know he did at least one of them because he got his Ragnarok there. So there's a good chance he has dry meat.
All right, Fitz is going to get Esper number 11 here. And I owe you $1.
It's at drinks-glue 11, I think. I don't know. I'll check it later.
If anybody wants to send Glue $1 that he can't get to,
I'll get an email or a notification that I got it that I can't get. So Rexall here. Rexall not going to be too intimidating with that Ragnarok, plus possibly some other offerings he has for him.
Yeah, just stop it already. He's already dead. All right, Lunar Chimera is going to reset out of this flame shield. There you go.
Beautiful.
Okay. I get to keep some of my money. Fitz going back for this goddess fight here. Very interesting when you don't know where your 5th character is yet.
I think I would fade going back to my goddess fight, just because if it's an Esper, great, I'm a 12th Esper. But I'll have to find 2 more characters, and I'm very statistically inclined to find another Esper by accident, looking for that extra character, so I would just maybe not come back for this.
Control and lore on that gal.
Well, hopefully he can control the airship while he stays on it.
There we go. Here's Lunar Chimera at Mount Cult, so this can catch Lunar Chimera up if there's a character here.
Yeah, there could be a character at Jexvrok and Mount Colts. It's not for sure to be gated by one of the spots. There could have been progress at 2.
Yeah, so now... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Looks like Jexvrok's gonna, was listening and he heard that idea. He's down to 3 party members, and well, of course not.
I don't think he did. I do that all the time by mistake. Alright, it looks like Saban's taking a nap here. Come on, wake up, Saban. Time to go. Let's go save the world.
I guess Jex didn't have dried meat, so that's why he's doing this in this order.
Yeah, Belt, actually, it's not even faster sometimes. It can be very, very slow. While Niles and Frazier, the cranes here for Lunar Chimera. This is a pretty easy boss fight. Not going to pull out the stray cat for us. Not yet, at least.
Has Fitz been utilizing that?
Actually, I don't think he's got the offering on.
He has the offering on his edge because he was doing regular attacks with his fixed dice.
Right. Sabre Wolf, meanwhile, just at the in-between point, in between the first and the second boss here for the end of the Magitech factory. We'll get his 8th Esper. And Lunar Chimera takes down the boss at Mount Cult. So let's see, folks. Was this a Kefka Norsh gated seed?
Yep.
It was! Oh, ugly force shield at Mount Cult. Boo! Boo this seed.
We did. We made the pull too deep. We need to shorten it even more. So Jexy has a huge advantage right now because Fitz, he still has some other spots he could visit that won't get him there, and Lunar Chimera as well. So
all right, so here comes an opportunity for another $1 for glue.
Oh please! There's no way OneFreeFitz sticks this out. Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me!
The allure of that Atma weapon offering too strong. I mean, the bottom runners didn't go to the Coliseum and saw the offerings for potions. Is that what it was?
Well, Fitz bought his offering at the Zen Thief.
Yeah, but we need one for the fixed ice and one for the Atma weapon. Come on now, buddy. Actually, we don't. We definitely don't need 2 offerings here. This is just an example of what I like to call winning more. Hey, Jexy making the right call, going through the Serpent Trench. Grab a natural magic slot lock.
Yeah, I don't think Jexy's in a position to quickly get the skip, but we know there's a lot of fast checks to get his 9th Esper, and then he can be in the Kefka's Tower while everybody else still have 4 characters. Well, I take that back. Lunar Chimera went up to Kefka Narsh, and he found the answer to the puzzle.
Yep. It looks like Fitz has deduced the same. No, he is not. He's at Mount Cult.
Well, I hope he likes Force Shields.
Nobody likes Force Shields.
I love Force Shields if I don't have Elemental Shields.
Actually, that is very true. They are the 4th best shield and 5th if you count the Paladin shield.
Well, 3rd if you count all the Elemental Shields as one just item. Just different flavors.
So yeah, Jex did skip the Velt check. We believe it was because he may not have found any dried meat right away. So the Velt is one of those checks that will guarantee reward you a character or an Esper. But I don't think he's done Search the Skies yet, because I think only 1 runner has. So that'll be his 9th Esper for Go Mode.
Yeah, only Fitz has done Search the Skies. I think that's what he's gonna do. Hey, I finally got one right.
And unfortunately, Sabre Wolf is heading towards 3 Espers. He's sailing further and further away from where he needs to go now.
The good news is he'll be in a strong position to get the skip.
I don't remember the last time I did a 12 Esper skip. It's usually either 9 characters or nothing.
Yeah, it's really, really hard. You have to almost have Sabre and Antera to get that many Espers before you come across that many, or just bad luck.
Yeah. Well, we did have 2 3-part checks. Ooh. Okay, Goddess. We had 2 3-part checks that gave us 5 Espers total and 0 characters, right? So that doesn't help. All of our dead checks, I think, were Espers too.
We had the 1 dead check at Magitech, which is Atma, the dead check at Phantom Train, and then the dead check
I'm sorry, I meant free checks.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Gal's Manor, the South Figaro basement, and I don't know what you call free or not, but Collapsing House with Shadow. So yes, they were all progression. And oh yeah, Collagen was an Esper too. And that's a clutch finish for Jexvrok that is gonna put him in a position to head in the Kefka's Tower while his closest competitors still run around looking for that last character. and oneFreeFitz is going to the wrong spot. That takes quite a while, so that's going to put some more time between him and Jexvrok. And we don't know what is at the belt check. It's possible Gal could have had 2 characters hidden behind him, so we'll see here with Lunar Chimera as he takes on the monsters on the belt. And Jexy isn't feeling too sure about his levels, so he's going to take on the Opera House Dragon just to get himself in a better position to survive some tougher fights. If I was Jexvrok, I'd feel pretty good about my offense. You have a Ragnarok user, you have the Fixed Dice Offering user, and that's 2 parts of the equation. I'd feel a little iffy about my third one. So maybe I would double stack my 2 weakest characters and just let them do one side and hope they can get through it. Oh my goodness. So Gal did have 2 characters behind him. That's a Realm for Lunar Chimera. And that's going to put him in go mode. But he is 2 Espers away from the skip. So Jexvrok hasn't entered the tower yet. Let's see here what Lunar Chimera does as he's going to go chase his skip. He has a couple fast checks that could get him there if he guesses correctly. So 101 tower time for Jexvrok. See what Lunar Chimera does. I think Lunar Chimera's gonna go in right behind him. And oneFreeFitz still searching for that mythical 5th character. He hasn't made his way to Kefka Narsh yet. If I'm counting correctly, I believe that's his only option left. Yep, and that's where he's going.
13 Espers later. And I believe we've got a Kefka, right? Final Kefka for Jexvrok.
Yeah. The good news for Fitz is after he gets his Gal, no matter where he goes, he's going to get his 6th character because he's down to just Kefka Narsh. And then he's down to the Trench or doing the belt check, and either one will reward a character. So he'll skip right on and possibly catch up to Jexvrok with his skip. So Corona King 9, nice to meet you, my dog. I don't believe I've seen you before. Asking a question in the chat: what does the skip do for you when you have enough Espers? Once you reach your requirements to unlock Final Kefka, you can go through Kefka's Tower as you would in the vanilla game, step on the switch, and begin the final battle to beat the game. At any point in time, you can go through the tower if you wanted to. You just can't trigger the final battle when you step on the steps. What unlocking the skip does is it allows you to warp into Final Kefka's Tower, and you will run directly on the first set of switches where the party kind of crosses over and begins the statues fights and the guardian spots. So all in all, it gives you about a 7-minute time save from walking and skipping the Inferno fight. So it's a catch-up mechanism, if you will. Even though Jexvrok is running through the tower right now and oneFreeFitz is walking down Narsh to fight Kefka at Narsh, as soon as oneFreeFitz gets his 2nd character, he'll be right on Jexvrok's heels.
Well stated, my friend. So yeah, Lunar Chimera finding his 5th and 6th characters pretty much in rapid succession. Was that Velt was the character, or was it Serpent Trench again?
Say that again?
The character that Lunar Chimera found for number 6, did he go through the Serpent Trench, or did he find it at Velt instead?
So at the Velt spot was Realm, and then Lock was the Serpent Trench. So it doesn't matter which one oneFreeFitz goes to, he's going to get his 6th character and warp on up.
Very nice.
And you can see his HP right now. He's got 3,000 HP on 3 characters. He's not going to take a dragon. He's going to warp straight on up there. And with that said, he'll probably go fight 2 dragons, but...
Well, it looked like Jexvrok fought a dragon on his tracker.
He did. He went to the Opera House Dragon before he went to Kefka's Tower, because he was around level 35. Oh, and that's quick and Ultima on the Esper for Lunar Chimera.
Ooh.
Missed what Esper that was.
Yeah, it's going to be tough learning that, though. He's going to need to get, multiple bosses here with doling out 50 MP, and we've already seen a lot of them, right? We've seen Goddess. Yeah. Actually, we haven't seen a lot of them, because then there's Doom, there's Poltergeist, right? There's Atma Weapon, and there's Magimaster. Those are the 50 MP bosses. We have seen Guardian, which is 40 MP. I mean, Inferno, sorry.
After this, I would almost debate, because I have it on Celeste, who has my I thought Celeste had Atma Weapon offering. But if I was rocking a Celeste with the Atma Weapon and offering, what I would do is see what this first fight gets me. If it gets me, maybe 10% of the way-ish, then I would take the dragon, then I'm at 60, then I have 2 bosses to get to 40.
Mm-hmm.
But if that first one was, none or very little, I'd probably skip the dragon on the way up there.
Yeah, Narapa is only 15 MP, so yeah, pretty low. But honestly, do we need Ultima at this point? We've got so much other stuff, right?
Well, for me, it would be the quick.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Again, it's one of those things where you're going to spend extra time fighting a dragon that you might not necessarily need. Is quick going to save you more time than that dragon fight is going to be to battle, right? That's the question you'll need to ask yourself. Because yes, quick will make it so that you can attack twice, but there's also multiple animations between the casting animation and the MP it costs to take the cast and all that other stuff. So lots of interesting things to consider as runners, for sure. Meanwhile, Jex is slightly ahead of Lunar Chimera here. And as soon as Fitz is done doing whatever shop till you drop that he's doing...
he's looking for dried meat. He has to be looking for dried meat.
Oh, that's awful.
The good news is if he just goes into Separate Trench, he'll get what he wants. The bad news is he doesn't know that.
Yeah, the Velt is just so much, normally, quicker of a check. I say normally because there are those rare instances where you... seems like it takes forever to find the right formation, right?
Well, it's the most annoying when you fought the or the White Dragon already, and then, Madam Outsiders and all the annoying fights you can't take down easily.
Speaking of 50 MP bosses, here you go. Here's one of them.
Yeah, but it's not on his middle party.
Oh. I didn't see Jex. I just assumed that he picked the middle party.
Oh, that's true. We were talking about Lunar Chimera. Lunar Chimera's middle party is Celeste.
Okay.
But Jexy doesn't need any quick. He's got this.
Alright, Sabre Wolf making his way up to Kefka at Narsh. I think he's exhausted all of the other options as well.
I think there was one more Esper he could have got, because Fitz had 12 Espers when he went up here.
Yeah, because he did the Search the Skies.
Well, he's exhausted everything that could not be a character, or everything that could be a character.
Yeah.
There's Fitz's dry meats. I don't know. You know, it's a good feeling when you finally find it, looking for it. But I think the trench would have been faster for him.
I mean, he did pick up some Genji armor, though. All right, Jex is our first runner through that all-important Guardian spot. If you have trouble at the Guardian spot, then you're walking back through that part of KT. That never feels good. So, ooh, Gao getting bodied.
Oh no.
And, I was going to say, I think he just queued up a Thunder Rod. It's the lightning element ineffective or whatever. That would
This is bad news. I don't know if Lunar Chimera is aware of it too, but when Doom starts targeting, it hurts.
Nice heads-up play here. Casting Golem.
Very nice. Didn't even need it.
That's the power of the Ragnarok. It does have a lot of physical evade. Unfortunately, this phase of Doom gets the image status. So unless you've got fixed dice or Illuminas, you're stuck, sort of missing until you break that image status.
Yeah, another Demon Rage is coming, but I think he's fine.
Yeah, the problem is if it actually connects, that will nullify the Golem, and it looks like that would have worked, actually.
Yeah. So,
good thinking by Lunar Chimera to use the Dispel cast, because that actually would have worked.
Yeah, pull the there we go. Well, no, does he have Reflect? I think Dispel breaks Reflect. Yeah, it does.
There you go. Now let's beat up on Doom. Yeah, I have personal beef with this boss. I hate this boss. It's easy until it's not easy. Meanwhile, Fitz, we're going to see the power of the statue skip in just a second, because he just got his 6th character.
Yeah, come on, Fitz. Go straight there. Let's get on Jexvrok's heels. Put a little pressure on the Mad Dog.
Dada Luma. Not going to last too long here, unfortunately, with his MC Hammer pants.
They're kind of like more like Goku pants.
The gooseneck pose there.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so Lunar Chimera had a little bit of a tougher time with that fight, but is through it nonetheless. Nipping at the heels of Jexvrok. Meanwhile, here you see the power of the skip for Fitz, as he's already at the statues. So he is one boss behind Lunar Chimera, and came into the tower much, much later. If you're just joining us, we are doing Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide, Final Fantasy VI Randomizer, and we're doing an Ultros League race, so that's sort of our, I guess, ELO based. It's not really ELO, because we don't do it that way, but it's like a ranked racing system that we've got going on. And this is our 5th season of it. Upcoming. Sometime soon, TM. Yeah, as Dr. DT points out, it is more like Mario Kart. Although to some of us, it's more like whose line is it anyway, the points don't matter. And we're just here to have fun. Speaking of fun, Tentacles for Jexvrok.
Tentacles is not one of the bosses you'd like to see when you down some party members, but still think it should be no problem for Jexvrok's.
One of the worst bosses to see in KT, by far. Just on the sheer annoyance level.
Yeah, Celeste isn't going to die here, but she's just going to sit there and watch as Gal gets poisoned away and does nothing. Well, no, if he can crack ice rods over and over again, he'll be fine.
Unfortunately, the fire rod is going to heal that bottom right tentacle, so Jexvrok smartly only using it on the top left one there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Sabre Wolf getting his go mode here. So I don't think he did search the sky, so I wonder if he does that for skip.
There's his drive meet. I think he would. It's a quick peak, not peekable, but it's quick enough so that you could literally do it with no out of your way interruption. The Kikos Tower, and if it's not it, oh well, it's a little more experience.
Lunar Chimera getting robbed by Dadaluma. That's not very nice. Give me my money back. You know what's so funny? I saw a dad joke about tentacles. It was something like, you know, how do you get an octopus to laugh? 10 tickles. Anyway. Dad jokes aside, 1:15 on the dot for Jexvrok in the tower. So we like to play a little game sometimes where we throw out how long we think our final fight will last here. It'll start when the screen cuts over to Kefka, and it will stop at the first flash of final Kefka going away. I'm going to give a time of 8 minutes and 22 seconds. What are we thinking, Glue?
I'm going to say 9:12.
9:12. All right, chat. We've got some of our times. What about your times? Let us know. And we'll put Jex's go time in the chat here as well. Of course, this is the time that his stream decides to cut out. Wonderful. Gotta love it.
All right, we'll say a 1:16 on the dot bell time. Just
all right.
We'll give him 11 seconds. We'll spot him 11 seconds because it's fourth character. So we'll say 1:16. Again,
Very
these times
generous
are
of you.
not official. Please don't bid me more money. If I win, please don't. Just go light it on fire. It'll be the same thing.
All right, starting off pretty strong with a Doom on the long arm there. And this is what you don't want to see. Attack the face. Come on, Setzer. Yeah, so you want to attack the face first, because if it's left alive at the end, it will do Quake as its death counter. And Sabre Wolf, half his team is asleep.
Yeah, but it's not the important half, so I think he's fine. With Sabre Wolf doing Search the Skies, he's going to get an Esper and get a skip, so it's within the realm of possibilities. We see all 4 characters on Final Kefka at the same time, just at different tiers.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be very exciting. Because
reset for the tentacles for Lunar Chimera.
Yeah.
And you got your wish here, DrinksGlue, the Stray Cat fixed dice offering.
Beautiful.
Out of oneFreeFitz. This is going to be an interesting strategy for tier 1 of Kefka, as we just saw. You know, Jexvrok getting into a little bit of trouble there for not killing the head first, although it looks like it's finally down, and that is skip for Sabre Wolf. 12 Espers. And into the tower at the statues.
Yeah, untargetable offense is a little more painful to have on tier 1, but once you get to tier 2, it doesn't backfire quite as much because there's more targets and they don't hurt as bad with their death counters.
Sets are pulling out the low rolls now. Getting us all amped up at first.
On the tier 2 for Jexvroks.
Alright, so we have access to Siren, so magic won't be a problem. We do have access to instant death, so tools won't be a problem. So we'll have to deal with 2 out of the 4, basically, here. Things attacking, and hit isn't really a problem ever either. 135,000 gold for Sabre Wolf.
Apparently that's where all my Binmo money is gone.
Oh no, you missed! All seed.
Oh, you missed the tower. I've done that too many times. Where you try to land on the tower and you miss and land.
Well, you know, these Mode 7 graphics on the overworld, let me tell you. Make everything hard to see. I'm pretty sure that Fitz just used Exploder from Gao in the lore. Well played, Fitz. Well played.
Very nice. Look at those huge rolls.
Dear Lord.
I think Jexvrok's triggered his strikeout as well with his Setzer because it looks mad. No, it's casting Fire 3.
So that might be Brontor.
Could be.
Or Senor Behemoth, right? We fought one of those this seed.
Maybe he misclicked. I'm not sure why you would start firing out random Fire 3s.
Maybe he got muddled before he got.
Oh,
muted.
that's most likely. That's a good.
That's awful. All right, Fitz, meanwhile, is stepping up to the plate here. He'll be about 4 minutes behind Jexvrok, so we'll see if he can catch up with his offense. Lunar Chimera, meanwhile, has a very, very upsetty spaghetti Sabin on his screen. Question, how do you get rid of Berserk? Dispel. I think so? Yeah, because Dispel will take away things that don't carry over between battles. And Berserk is something that doesn't carry over between battles.
The correct answer is you don't get rid of it, you embrace the madness.
Well played. Gao does have Pearl Wind, so he could cast that and then cast Exploder, and we'll all be happy.
Looks like Sabre Wolf heard you. He's gonna...
I once had to beat Magimaster from Exploder strats. It was horrible. I have PTSD from it, thank you very much.
In one of my Battleground seed, I think Magimaster was on the right side, and I had Gao 1v1ing him with Berserk, so I had to slap a Valiant Knife on him and an Offering and Capture to beat him.
Gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, right?
Yeah, you gotta think outside the box.
Alright, I think only Magic is left here for Jexvrok, so he's almost done with Tier 2 and on to Tier 3.
And so, I missed it, but oneFreeFitz is on Tier 1 now. Lunar Chimera. Is Lunar Chimera triggering switches? Yep, so we got 3 characters on Final Kefka. Sabre Wolf is doing his best to get there as well. I still think Sabre Wolf is going to make it before Jexvrok's or any of the other guys finish.
Yeah,
so
it depends on how mean the tentacles want to be. Oh, that was what was there. Ultros. Interesting. Alright, so that's the death counters for Magic for Jex, and for Fitz, he's getting to Tier 2 as Jexvrok is leaving Tier 2. That's quite unfortunate. Lunar Chimera about 2 minutes 15 seconds behind Fitz. So, still pretty close here.
Yeah, that was a really fast Tier 1 for Fitz, if you can keep that up.
Well, I mean, he does have 13 Espers. He went way more places than Jex had, so he's got a level advantage for sure. It just depends on if those levels can turn into to extra damage fast enough for Fitz to catch up.
Yeah, but does he have 7 offerings? Because we know Jexvrok has 7 offerings.
I mean, you can't throw offerings at the boss. At some point, you're going to have to do actual damage.
And I hope he gets this going off before Setzer gets another turn, because Setzer's going to kill Tier 3 if he doesn't cast it. I guess he's just saying, let's go for it.
Yep. And speaking of going for it, that's our first Ultima appearance.
Beautiful.
That is one way to take out the tentacles. Here we go. I'm pretty sure this is a Gembox Gold Hairpin double Ultima situation. Oh my god.
Nice.
Killtacular.
So as we were saying, no trouble with the tentacles for Sabre Wolf.
No.
And this is gonna do it for Jexvrok for tier 3. Just a matter of how many characters are gonna go up. I don't remember if Golems come out.
I didn't see it. Those are some pretty bad rolls at the end. All right, Sabin is down. Not really quite sure what he was doing for Jexvrok, because I know that Setzer was offering fixed dice and Celeste is Ragnarok. Shadow is casting magic, so Sabin was hanging out, I guess. Chilling. Yeah, our first and only set of Ultimate casts thus far in our seed at the very end. And here comes Final Kefka. So we are at 8 minutes and 49 seconds, so already my time is wrong.
If you can get quad 9s, I can still capture my 912, and nope, he messes it up for me. The 1 is always so backbreaking. You can't multiply anything by 1 because...
It's like dividing by 0. Oh, the swag steal of the Mega Elixir. Will he even need it?
He's bypassed Fallen 1, so the only reason he's going to need it if he accidentally triggers an Ultima with his wildcard Zetzer. Oh no.
Celeste's going down.
I think he'll be fine though.
Tier 3 for Fitz. Lunar Chimera fighting through the first tier here. Throwing the shield here. Is that going to do it? It's not.
This will do it.
Oh my god,
Ooh.
Setzer gets the second attack off.
I think this would do it. Yeah, that was about 8,000. Yeah, that's
alright, there it is. Well, we didn't get 4 runners on Kefka at the same time because Sabre Wolf stepping up to the plate, but that is a time of 1:26.09 for Jexvrok, GG, WP with the fixed dice.
GG indeed. We'll see if Jexvrok wants to join us for an interview. If you have any questions in the chat, feel free to throw them out there. And we will ask the winner of tonight's race for you.
Can we ask him what your PayPal password is?
If anybody knows it, it's him. Well, come on in, Jexvrok. First and foremost, do you know the password to my Venmo account?
Should I?
Someone has to know it. GG's, my friend. Congratulations on your victory. I'll catch you in on what's going on with the Venmo situation later. How you feeling? What are your thoughts on your victory?
Well, I learned something today.
You only roll Kefka at Narsh Seeds? No. What did you learn today?
Don't use Berserk on a rage user.
Yeah, they will pick a random rage sometimes.
I mean, like on tier 3, it actually kind of worked out kind of nicely. Casting the haste 2 on the party.
Yeah.
So that was kind of neat. On tier 2, I mean, like Senior Behemoth got chosen, so casting Fire 3. So it was cool with that.
We were hoping for the Stray Cat, fixed dice, which is what Fitz is doing here.
I did not find Stray Cat.
Yeah, only Lunar Chimera and Fitz found Stray Cat encounter because he didn't go to Floating Continent.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you skipped out on the 3 Esper Floating Continent.
Yeah, at that point I did not need those Espers. I was hoping for Gold Bear or something nutty, or even if I had a sniper. Oh my god, if I had snipers and Gold Bear, I would have been thrilled. Aside from that, the seat was fine. I'm rating my time range where I want to be with Ultros League again. Especially after this last event, I did absolutely awful.
No, you didn't. Cut that out.
I did pretty bad.
You're like one of the 10 best returners. Too hard on yourself, my friend.
Yeah,
So-
we won the whole thing. There was no bad runner on our entire team.
Yeah. It's the Imperials who should be feeling bad, and they do, trust me. I made sure.
Are you still rubbing their nose in it?
I think Sabre Wolf is just past Lunar Chimera.
Yeah, Lunar Chimera
Had a rough go.
In Tier 1.
Yeah.
So we have an exciting possible 3rd, 4th place finish here.
So you almost had a catastrophe in Tier 1 when your Setzer decided to damage Short Arm for a bajillion damage. Were you getting a little worried there?
That's why I switched Setzer off from throwing the dice and started having him cast Fire 2.
Yeah.
Or Fire 3, whatever it was he had. That's why I switched it up. I'm like, this is dangerous.
Speaking of dangerous,
no,
Fitz done 129.53, our 2nd place winner. Go ahead.
The real dangerous fight was Goddess. Because I don't think I safety saved before I went to go fight her.
Ooh, you did have one character left when you did your Goddess.
Yeah, I had Celeste left and she was down to like 700 or 500 hit points. So, one clean sweep and, she's done. Or a bolt 3. But fortunately she had decent armor. She had Celeste had the cat hood on, which was wonderful. So it worked out, barely. Which is why, because the rest of the party died, I took on those extra dragon fights to gain back those lost levels on the rest of the party. And plus I was hoping to, get a Valiant Knife or, something like that I could use.
Yeah, you needed something to go along with all of your offerings.
Well, I sold all but 2.
You almost got a 8th one because the Zen Thief was an offering. I believe you saw it for 50k and you passed, and then when you went to World of Ruin, you never went back up to it. Then it was 10k.
I did buy it.
You did? I must have missed it.
Yeah. So actually, I did end up with 3 offerings.
Yeah, you went to the Coliseum very early, so tell us a little bit about what your feelings are so far on some of the new Season 5 changes, including a buff to the Coliseum and a buff to the high-tier items that we'll get from dead checks, potential Ultima. We didn't really see it this seed, except for one of our runners did find Ultima on a Esper.
There was a buff to the Coliseum?
Yeah, it's now 100 to 110 instead of 80 to 100. You can see more rewards, basically.
I am glad for that, because I like doing Coliseum battles. When I ran into Lethal Weapon, I was like, oh no, this is going to be a long fight. And then the double Doom Darts procced.
Yeah.
I was so happy that I didn't even know you could doom him.
I thought it was
until
funny
that moment.
Thought it was funny that it got the Doom procced on the first one, but then your second hit still went off and did damage. It's like, come on, guy, he's already dead. Stop beating a dead horse.
Oh, it was totally worth it. Lethal Weapon deserves that kind of treatment. That is a grind fight I don't like seeing at all.
Yeah, for sure. So, any other thoughts on some of the changes here that we have?
I didn't notice too many of them. I mean, like obviously the Coliseum was. I noticed that one because I found things that I wanted. I would love to get into the mode of getting check skip. I really like having that option available. Just grind out extra fights, or just grab a pile of free checks and just do the tower skip.
I mean, dragons do count as checks, and you were taking a few dragons, so.
No, they do.
Of course they do.
I learned something else. I relearned that one again today.
Yep, they drop high tier items, so they count as checks.
Instead of 12 at that,
I may have to reconsider some of my strats then with Ultros League 5.
Yeah, so it makes checks like Fanatic's Tower, because that actually has 3 checks in one. Ancient Castle, Mount Zozo, those checks become Phoenix Cave, right? Those become more appealing because they're 2 checks instead of just 1.
True. Very true.
There you go.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Something to keep in mind if I decide to join the Ultros League this season.
There you go. Glue, we got any other questions for Jexvrok?
Yeah, what kind of cookies did you have tonight, my friend?
Well, it had a very almondy taste to it.
Oh, nice.
Delish.
Oh, yes.
They had a work party, and I got some oatmeal raisin. I was pretty happy with that. Anyway.
I'm off the good stuff for a while, so I have to live vicariously through other people.
Oh. Fair enough. Jex, you got anything else for us?
I think his headset died because I heard a low power being.
Anyways,
of course.
Before I disappear on you guys, mind if I give the slide? What happened?
Sure. Yeah,
can you all hear me?
Go ahead.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, let me start that over again. Anybody here in SpeedGaming5 that is new to Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide and would like to learn this wonderful randomizer, please go to FF6 worldscollide.com. There is a link to our Discord. We got a wonderful community that is willing to teach you the different strategies, the different routes, even if you just want to chill, hang a good time, and see what kind of craziness we do. Come join us. Also, we have Ultros League 5 coming up sometime in the near future, as we apparently showcase this flag set for you tonight. And yeah, GG's. Thanks for tuning in. Also, give our Restream team and our runners a follow.
All right, thank you so much for volunteering to be on stream. Can't have the races without the runners, so appreciate that. And good luck with your Ultros League Season 5 strategery. Sounds like you got some things to think about there.
I do now.
All
GG's.
Right.
See ya.
Catch you later. All right, and we are joined by our second place finisher, oneFreeFitz, getting all the espers in this seed. GG.
Yeah, so many espers. Yet again, I last location a character at the opera. I guess I'm gonna have to go there earlier, but
it was Kefkat Narsh.
Oh yeah, well that was the other one.
Spoilers.
So
yep.
At the end of the day, I still feel pretty great. I was going really fast. I jacked up my progression real nice early with the freebies. Got kind of caught up, and then once I had the dice and the offering, I knew I was pretty much good to go. Then I couldn't get characters.
I'm sorry, I was just going to cut in there. Speaking of good to go, 137.26 for Sabre Wolf. Get very your nice. GGs in chat for him. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, very nice. GGs. Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty smooth run overall. I bounced off of Goddess in the skies, and then hilariously accidentally ran into them again. So that was pretty fun. Didn't get to show off Ultima. I was gonna cast it with Shadow, but then they didn't have the MP, so I was like, oh well. Just for fun, I was gonna do it, but yeah, it was a fun race. I have been acclimating to kind of the new flags and trying to figure out if I'm gonna change my style, but I don't know. What did y'all see? Any questions for me about my decision making?
I got a question for you, but it's not about your decision making. It's did you know today was Sabre Wolf's birthday, who just joined us?
I did. We were supposed to take it easy.
Oh, you did quite the opposite.
But there's only one mode I can go in, and it's as fast as I can generally. So
is that dog mode?
Yeah, I mean, I tried to get all the espers and really drag it out, obviously. So, but yeah, I see Jax was 6'9" too. Man,
I mean, yeah,
I was ready for Kefka at like 4'12". I was like, I can do this, and then
yeah, I mean that's part of the problem, right? Is that you both you went to Magitech Factory, did get your third character, so you thought, well, I guess my fifth character is up on the floating continent, right? Question mark. Wrong. There's 3 more espers up there. So that I think was what it was. There was, with the checks that we had, with the characters we had, there was no right time to check Kefka and Arsh except before going to do one of those like 3-parters. You know, the only better time would have been to leave Magitech for the very, very end and then say, okay, well, my character's either at Magitech or Kefka and Arsh. Let me go peek Kefka and Arsh before I go all the way through Magitech Factory. But then again, you also don't get the fixed ice, right? Because I think you picked it up in the chest there.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was huge, and I got the offering, I think, off a collapsing house early.
To Zen Thief, yep.
But then
fixed dice in Magitech I didn't pick up.
Yeah, it was the one chest you didn't get.
And even I got the second one because I went to Daryl's tomb, and it was like, oh well, there's an offering here, and I was like, well, I might as well, and then.
You cost me $1, by the way. I'm like, there's no way Fritz is going to take this offering. I'll bet you
because I had an ammo weapon and I was still pulling characters, so I was like, well, that's an immediate upgrade for Sabin if I get someone that can use ammo. And then it was Realm, and I was like, yeah, so much offense. We're gonna be fine. And there wasn't really anything too bad in the statues, but.
With your dried meat hunt at the end, did you ever consider just doing Serpent Trench, or was this like tunnel vision, I need to go get meat?
I was on the edge because it was like, I haven't checked a lot of shops, and so I was pretty shop light, and I was like, all right, well, there's a cluster around here that I can hit. So I hit like the airship, Nikea, Mowgli's, Jador, and I was like, ooh, I never went to Cole again. Let me look at that one. And then I finally found it. It's thank goodness, because I was about to go to Serpent Trench and hope it was a character too.
Bad news you don't want to hear is that Realm was at the Velt and then Locke was at Serpent Trench, so you had no wrong choice after having a dozen wrong choices.
Went for it.
I mean, that's something you never ever want to hear. Yeah.
Well, I just didn't. Normally, that would be a more appealing option. At that point, I did not need any more levels and fights, so it's just kind of like, maybe this is faster, but wow, yeah. I mean, I don't really feel that bad about it. You gotta make choices. They don't always pay out, but I thought I was going pretty fast overall, and if things fell a different way, would have had a pretty good time. So
for sure,
proud of all the effort out there all around from everybody.
Lots of good heads-up plays with using rod. You used a lot of rods in this particular seed, so that definitely helped you out as well.
Yeah, that was a big early find. And then I had a cat hook too, so I had like almost, I think I had 250k gold. I bought like 3 Genji armor just because I was like, fine, why not? Like, my armor kind of is terrible. And I only had 2 shields for like the longest time. It's just like, can I find?
Well, I think you
shield
you decided to crack one early, right?
No, I kept that flame shield. I should have probably cracked it. I could have got some goddess.
Then it was Lunar Chimera that cracked it. Somebody cracked it early. Anyway,
so that was like that was one of my 2, and then I had a buckler, and then I got that 4 shield. I bought diamond shields too on my like running around trying to get dried meat.
Yep. Glue, any other questions for Fitz? As Lunar Chimera finishes here, 1:43:12 final time.
GG's Lunar Chimera. Fitz, I know you're active in our community and a lot of other communities. Do you have anything else coming up you want to plug?
I do have a Worlds Collide charity marathon appearance coming up on, let me go look because it's an event in the server. It's going to be Wednesday, October 18th, 9:45 Eastern. For Game Over Cancer. Double check on that one.
That is correct.
Yeah. And then over in Jets of Time, we still got camp going on. People are free to certainly. There's no event or like champion of camp. It's just kind of like a learning event. So there's still time to hop on and catch the tail end of that. But yeah, I think that's all my plugs for right now.
Awesome. Well, thanks for running. Can't have the races without the runners. And good luck in this upcoming Ultros League.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, catch you later. We are joined also by birthday boy Sabre Wolf. Happy birthday, Sabre Wolf.
No. Hello,
Happy
everybody.
birthday indeed.
And we also have Lunar Chimera in the booth who just finished up. Congratulations on finishing. GG's.
Yep, thank you.
So yeah, we'll start with you, Sabre Wolf. You found 12 Espers, and it took a while for you to get that last character. So what were your thoughts on the seed, and are you ever playing a seed rolled by Jexvrok ever again?
Well, okay, first of all, shout out to Extra Life. If you want to donate to help kids out, 100% donations go to Extra Life. Just click on my link. It's extra-life.org, and just looking for Sabre Wolf, so you can donate there. So yeah, whenever I see Fitz said, "Oh, I'll roll a seed," I know I'm like, "Oh God, this is gonna be rough. This is gonna be rough." Yeah, 4 characters was, 4. I was like 4-9, 4-10 at one point almost, I believe. That was kind of rough. Almost last locating Kefka and Narsh. Getting Gao there was kind of meh, but getting Realm right after that with on the Velt was cool. But I was already at like 11 Espers at that point, so I was like, you know what? Let me just check Realm. Nope, that was Edgar. Forget that. And
that's where Edward was.
Yeah, and I said, well, I had another instant one. I think it was like Search the Skies or something, and that was my 12th Esper for shortcut.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, that's fine. Like I just wanted to get. I was like, I know it was 1 Esper away. I had 2 quick checks to do to try to get Esper. 1 was a peak, so I was like, you know what? Let's just go for a shortcut, get the statues, try to catch up on time. I know I lost time on doing the train. I saw the fire shield. I'm like, oh, that's a really good thing to have.
Yeah.
And I just kind of grabbed it and went with it. So.
Yeah, so that leads me into the question about like the better items for dead checks. Does that sort of make you not as feel bad about the dead checks anymore, or are you still annoyed when you see them?
Better items on dead checks is going to be a definite improvement in this game. I do feel that the new UL5 flags suit my playstyle personally better because I'm always like check heavy, loot heavy, and that definitely helps with that. I will note that the starter group that we had, which was Slets, Setzer, and Sabin, it was one of my fears because there is free lunch on, which means there's free checks you can get stuff in, and you could fall drastically behind in the scaling before you even start a fight. And although Sabin and Celeste is a little bit better because they do have early fights they could do in Opera House and Camp. Right. And the offense was amazing with Ragnaroks, 2 Excaliburs, 2 Offerings, Ragnarok. Gradius wasn't actually doing too bad on Sabin. Yeah. Sabin was kind of a forgotten child for a while until I found that Esper with Ultima Quick. Yeah, Ultima Quick on 1 Esper. That's amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty ridiculous. So let me ask us. So Lunar Chimera, I know that you picked up a couple of Espers before you decided to go do some grind fights, and unfortunately, some of those grind fights are not very good. So also, were you regretting your decision there, or were you just saying, "Hey, let's go to another spot and keep going"?
Yeah, that's pretty much the second one. Yeah, I kept finding the fights. I was like, "Oh, come on, something reasonable, please." And then I found that Tyrannosaurus, and I was like, "Okay, this isn't bad." And that carried a lot with Meteo, so I'm okay with finding that.
Yeah, I mean, there was like maybe 1 or 2 good rages to start, but certainly the Meteo Tyrannosaur rage definitely helped you along in the early game for sure. And What are your thoughts so far on some of the new changes that we've have to the Ultros League settings? With the higher items. I know you didn't get to play with Ultima as much as Sabre Wolf certainly did, but
yeah, I found it kind of early enough, but I didn't end up getting it taught on anybody. So, or I think I might have gotten it half learned on somebody, and then I removed them to do like Gao and Kefka and Narsh.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Well, to be honest, if I could jump in, I only used Ultima, I believe, 3 or 4 times total.
Right, it was
throughout the entire run.
The tentacles fight, I think, right, was the one time.
I quick double Ultima for that boss fight, and I think I used it once on Kefka at the end, and I might have used it one other time, maybe on Tier 2, I think.
Yeah.
Oh no, I used it on Tier 3 because I wanted to kill Girl. But that was like the only times I used it. I only used it like 4 times.
I could have used it on Tentacles, I can say that. I ended up equipping the, what was it? I equipped the running shoes and then Berserk Sabin and let him go to town.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome strat.
I do have a question though. Does Stray Cat work on Ragnarok?
Yes.
Okay, I was using that. I did hit quad 9s on Kefka's face with that. That was cool.
I didn't think it actually worked with fixed dice, but I've been told that it does. So that's an interesting thing to note as well.
Yeah, I missed that fixed dice, so meh on that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I never found a fixed dice. I found both the offerings and I found the Ragnarok and the Radius, but nothing else super important.
It was in the Magitech factory, which Lunar Chimera, I don't think you went to.
Because I had so many espers, and I was like, I just need characters, and there's no characters there. Except for maybe at the very end, but that means I have to do the entire thing.
Yeah, which at that point, your Kefka at Norsh Peak was much better, right? So you also had a lot of awesome strategies. I know you were stealing a bunch of stuff, some rods from some of the.
Oh yeah, I saw the wizards, and I was like, that's rods for days. Please, thank you.
And then the Dispel on Doom, I saw you were thinking about it. You're like, wait, does this work? Does it get reflected?
Right, that's what I was thinking about. Does he still reflect up? I'm like, how many turns has it been? Because she was hasted, so I had to think about how many. It had to be at least 3, I think, to be the same as 2 of his turns.
I don't think Dispel gets reflected. I'm going to go look that up.
No, it does not. It actually dispels the reflect, so it actually bypasses.
Okay, so dang, I could have cast it earlier. I don't think it would have made a huge difference, but.
Yeah, but it was still it was heads up to even think about it, because in those situations, you're normally panicking, what do I do? Let's just swing at something. Oh wait, it's missing every single time,
I was only swinging to waste the time so I could keep track of the turn number. I was sad when I ran out of MP though.
Yeah.
The other new thing about this whole Ultros League 5 set is the tiered spell learning. Which I actually kind of enjoyed that a little bit. As long as you find rods, and we had ridiculous. I don't know about Lunar Chimera, but I know the rest of us had ridiculous melee offense. So
you guys also had a ton of money from that early cat hood too.
Well, yeah, we had multiple cat hoods actually.
So much money, but I never found anything to spend it on. Besides, I picked up a few rods in World of Ruin Tomasa.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually don't mind it too much. All the gray spells are definitely more available. So you're definitely going to have more access to mute and stop and those kind of things. I think those may be a little more available than your Fire 3, Ice 3, and Bolt 3s. Yeah. So you won't be. So that actually, I believe, that kind of lowers the need for Siren and for that Esper to be needed because you have a higher chance of actually just getting mute. So actually kind of
you'll learn mute faster, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get mute more often, right? The tiered spells is just for the learn rates. It's not for what spells get put on the Esper.
Oh, okay. So it's just learn rate. It's not just the frequency of it showing up.
Correct. It's just the learn rates. Yep. So Ultima, Quick, and Merton will always be ×1, as you guys saw. So
yeah.
Cool. Glue, you got anything for our runners here?
Lunar Chimera, do you have anything coming up you want to plug inside our community or outside of our community?
I don't think so right now. The only thing that we're waiting to see is if we get into the Fastest Furs Fall Fest, which when was they announced when the stream was. I think it's the
Yep. So the schedule releases this Sunday
It's this week,
at
isn't it?
6 p.m. Eastern
Yeah.
on their Fastest Furs channel. So we will find out when our time slot is. Last year they gave us prime time Saturday night, and we were one of the highest dono periods during the entire 3-day stream. So I'm hoping that given that plug there, I'm hoping it will get another positive spot again. So we'll see.
Right. I'm in the same boat. Let's hope for something nice.
And we have a lot of incentives. One of the things we're going to try to allow fans to draft for us, I believe, still.
I think that's the plan, or kind of.
A subset draft.
Yeah, so there's a subset draft where if you get in early and get in high in the donations, you will tell our runners basically some of the flags that they have to run.
Oh, Glue,
So
you got to get your PayPal password or your Venmo password.
So you'll be directly affecting the runners besides doing the Maria at the Opera House or Save and Kill Sid. Those, of course, are available too. But you'll be able to directly affect what the runners are going to do by picking some of their drafting seats.
Are there some cards that you do not want the donation people to pick? Hint, hint, wink, wink.
I think we have a limitation on some things.
No,
Yeah,
I know
think
that there are some like auto statuses. I mean, they're not that terrible. Some of them are not that bad.
I think the way that we have it laid out is that we're actually gonna have them bid on specific things that they want as incentives.
Nice.
Not quite drafting the whole thing, but it is
Right.
partial draft.
Right. Yeah, like permadeath's not going to be available, I believe.
No. But you're gonna
but
have
some-
like, like auto condemn or something like that.
Right, yeah. So, but some of the like ultra hard ones that will, because again, of course, this is a ongoing fundraising event. We're limited on the time space that we have for our slot, so we don't want to. I know that's fun and all, and that's entertaining, but we have to keep in mind that there's other games and runners like that are also donating their games and also trying to raise money for the event. So we do have a limited time, so we don't want to throw in a 2-hour, 30-minute just bomb seed.
Which is what we did to ourselves, making the submission for that.
Yes, unfortunately, but we learned from that. So, but that's why it was a submission, a example, not what we're actually going to do. So,
Right.
Awesome. Well, I am definitely looking forward to it, and I will be opening up my Venmo account because I remember my password, Glue.
Whoa, that's dirty, man.
Shouldn't
Shouldn't have told anybody that.
How I gave money for that last time. I think it was based on my time at the end in minutes. I gave that much.
Nice.
Well, the story y'all miss is I don't know my Bin More passport. And last year I won a fantasy football league, and before I could say anything, someone sent me my winnings to it, so I can't get to it. And then Schwantz into the dollar apparently, so there's more money that's lost forever.
Yep. Well, I bet him $1, Sabre Wolf, that you wouldn't go through the Phantom Train for the Flame Shield, and you did me dirty.
oh,
I saw that.
Represent the
I saw that.
dogs,
I
man.
saw
I gotta
the
represent the
goat
dogs.
walked over, said Fire Shield. Nope, bye.
I grabbed it and I ran left and I'm like, why am I doing this? But it is a fire shield, so it's pretty good. And but I will say that talking to the ghost, I did get an extra Mega Elixir.
There you go.
So I didn't even though I didn't use it, I did have an extra Mega Elixir in my pocket just in case. But the offense in the end, I was level 43 on all my characters. I had Abba, Ragnaroks, and all Ultimas. So I had all the tools. So I knew it wasn't going to be a problem. So it was mostly like, when am I going to run out of MP? Which I did run out of at the end of Tier 3.
Yep.
Sabin and Shadow ran out of gas.
Yep.
But it was in an okay spot. So it's fine.
All right, well, I think that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys, Lunar Chimera and Sabre Wolf, for volunteering to be on Restream. Cannot have the races without the runners. Thank you as well to DrinksGlue for joining me here in the commentary booth. What up, Glue? What up?
I'll try to be on time next time as well, but
Oh, listen,
No promises.
better late than never, my man. I mean, we had a little bit of technical difficulties in the beginning of the stream anyway, so you were perfectly on time. So it's all good. So go give our runners a follow, give our commentary crew a follow. Thank you so much for having us, Speed Gaming, and we will be back next week sometime on one of these channels, providing you some more racing content, and we'll catch you later. See ya. Peace out.